and we'll have time to read for you. And as I said, if you really want to help this program, I always say, if you really want to help this program, because we want to come to senior high schools, we want to come to institutions, so we accept invitations. And if you want to invite us, the number to call is 0559 53 5554, 0559 53 5554. If you want to sponsor, if you want to help, if whatever, this contact, please, when you call this contact, we will respond and will help. We will talk about it, so that if you can also connect us to any sponsor, we will be very glad to accept it. And I want to tell you that this fabric, as usual, is by Sleek Afrique. Sleek Afrique, there are more to Sleek Afrique than you know. Do you know that Sleek Afrique has a casual wear? That's Sleek Afrique Casuals. They deal in already made clothing. So, and it is purely made in Ghana. And we have a ladies' dress, we have African print dress, we have kimonos, we have bomber jackets, and everywhere in Ghana, delivery is on point. And it's proudly made in Ghana. So you don't hustle to go to the seamstress to do and tell you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no. But when you go to Sleek Afrique, you can also like that casuals by Sleek Afrique Instagram. Select any design and your size and just call. They'll deliver at your doorsteps. And if you really want to work with Sleek Afrique, as I always said, the numbers to call or the number to call is 0559 0557 355 852, 0557 355 852, 0557 355 852. And you know, this gentleman who always put me on flyer and my guests on flyer, Alpha Art is into designs, logo, whatever, graphics. Please just contact Alpha Art on this contact 0551 404 387, 0551 404 387, and Alpha Art will just do justice to that design that you want. As I said, if you also want to advertise your product here, you can call 055. You can WhatsApp your product or your conversation. We'll call it back 0559 680066, 0559 680066, or 0559 535554, and we would respond to you. Today, as we are entering into we've entered into a new season as it comes to Wounds of the Heart. I have a beautiful guest who had been on this program since last year, and she has been an instrumental guest on this program. But because of the first-time viewers, I'll allow her to introduce herself, so that probably we can set the ball rolling. Good evening and welcome to the program Wounds of the Heart.
Good evening.
I trust you're fine.
By the grace of God.
We thank God. So for our first timers, who is Justina?
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
My name is Justina Owu Ejiri, and I am a counseling psychologist.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And where do you work currently? Where are you working?
I'm at Ghana Atomic Energy Commission's hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also accept what we call a private counseling or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's when you need help.
Okay. Are you categorized to one or general counseling?
General.
Okay.
What happened is after assessments, if you need something beyond me or anything else, we refer, we recommend.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is fine. All right. There's something that always worries my mind a bit, because looking at the quote I just read, and the fact 1 out of 7 children have experienced child abuse before or neglect in the past years. The topic for discussion is child abuse. What is abuse in general, and what is child abuse?
Okay. So taking it from the point you ended, abuse is when you do anything against anyone that have detrimental effect on the person's daily functioning. The emphasis is on daily functioning.
Daily functioning.
That is anything you do to a person. Sometimes animals are even included. That makes them unable to partake or take the daily activities. like schooling, eating, sleeping, going to church, the usual things we do on daily basis. If whatever you do to a person hinders or prevents in a way from being able to do all these things, it's a form of abuse.
All right, it's a form of abuse. Then let's bring it down to those today I'm here for, the children.
So with the children, you see, one thing is that as Africans, abuse has been part of us and we've come to accept it. So most of the times we think it's normal. We normalize those things, and in Ghana, it's one of those things. But talking about child abuse isn't only physical violence. It is not physical violence against children. However, any form of maltreatment.
Any form of maltreatment.
Any form of maltreatment that an adult in any way violates a child's right or a child's privilege or threatens to harm the child. So any form of maltreatment an adult conduct that threatens or that violates a child's living.
Okay, so maltreatment by our local setting. How do you define maltreatment? Because, for instance, if my son misbehaves and I shout at him for that, have I maltreated my child? Could you call that one as abuse?
So we're looking at the circumstance and the effect. Don't forget that the emphasis on daily functioning. So shouting on your child, what happens to the child after the shout? That is the most important thing. And sometimes it may be okay to shout, but the way you did the shouting. That is why we say any form of maltreatment. So we can't strictly say A, B, C, D. So we are used to the physical abuse because you hit your child and probably your fingers are left on the part of the body, or the child hits the head somewhere, there are bruises, and it's one of them. But we have the psychological bit of it, or emotional.
We'll get there, we'll get there.
So all these, whatever you're doing, sometimes too, it's not even direct. It becomes indirect. An example in the house, parents are quarreling and the child is there, they are screaming. The child don't understand why they are screaming and the child is shivering. You think you are fighting, but what effect is it having on that child?
But the child is not being abused.
The child is being abused of a sort. When we get to the types of abuse, child abuse, you will get me.
Okay, because from what you're saying, if maltreatment, if it is intentional, that affects the child's daily routine or activity, then that is abuse.
We can't say it could be unintentional.
And we will define that one as an abuse.
Yes. You didn't mean to, but it has happened. And it didn't stop.
So it is not.
So you drink, you come home, and your child isn't happy seeing the father drunk, and then that way. Okay, that is today. So it might not have much effect on the child. The next day, another time. So gradually it's building up. And children understand things at certain levels. So how would the child be able to understand what is happening? You think you have a problem. That is why you're using alcohol. What does your child think? How does the child feel? Is it the child drinking? No. Is the father or mother drinking? But how does that make the child feel at home?
Parents or elderly siblings or brothers and sisters who are watching, in case you just joined, we are discussing psychological effect of child abuse. I said earlier on, if you just joined, that 1 out of 7 children had suffered one way or the other an abuse in his life before. So this is not something that we need to joke about it. I know you watching, you have experienced a bit of what we are discussing before. So let it be of an urgency so that you can also share this link to a friend or a family or those who love. Just listen, because in Wounds of the Heart we educate and we bring clinical help to you who are watching, how best you'll be able to overcome or help others who are going through this same thing. And you see, I asked whether it was intentional, and I was informed that it's not. Sometimes it's unintentional. It may depend on the parent, but it will have effect on the child. The child is being abused in a way where the parents are the ones quarreling or fighting. So let us be mindful. If you are doing something before our children and we think it's not right, we shouldn't let them see, because in some way we are abusing the child or the children that they are with us. So I think we are learning. We are learning. We are learning. If you have anything, you can just send us a WhatsApp on 0559 535 or 0559 680066, and we will help out in that. Any question you have. Then this makes me come back to what are the types. So from the definition you are giving me, but what are the types of child abuse or abusing? What are the types?
So basically, we can consider 5 areas of child abuse. The usual physical.
The usual.
Because that is what it's known. Then we have the emotional or psychological. Then we have physical neglect.
So wait. When you mentioned, just tell us something about it so that probably we wouldn't go back to it. So the physical.
Okay.
How? What is it?
Okay, so the physical abuse is where, in my introduction, I was saying that you hit a child. Probably your intention is to correct. But you end up hitting the child. Does it end there? How did the child consider what happened? How does that make the child feel? So a child can have head injury and then broken legs, bruises, and all those things. Those are physical that we can see. The moment you see the child, you can see on the body and every part of the child that something is wrong. So that is physical. It can easily be seen.
So when the father spared the rod and spared the child, is it an abuse?
You see, that is why I'm saying that what is the mind behind what you're doing?
Correction.
You are correcting your child. So it isn't the child that you are hitting, but the behavior. However, the behavior is coming out of the child. So you have to consider, do I want to hit the behavior?
So even if you beat, it should be.
You should consider.
Okay.
The effect.
It shouldn't harm.
It shouldn't harm.
Okay.
Violate.
Okay. Then now I'm getting.
So you are correcting, but you shouldn't violate.
Okay.
You shouldn't harm in any way.
Okay.
So you might cane a child. That will leave psychological implications.
Yeah, when there's a.
But you were just because the child has stolen less fish from the soup.
Yeah.
You have to correct or reprimand. How are you doing it?
Okay, so it shouldn't harm the child.
However, you can only do the not harming when you yourself control or regulate your emotions.
Okay.
Anger.
Okay, anger. Very good. All right. So that's for the physical.
Then we have the emotional
or
psychological. So from the example I gave, a child has stolen 1 cedi, fish from the soup. It's okay to correct. But what kind of correctional measures are you using? Is it harming or correcting? So what will be the implication? What will be the effect? What will be the result of that punishment or that correctional method on the child? You see, as we speak, in my interest is on the long-term effect. For now, children can find their way. By the time will come, they will process. They will start asking certain questions that will take them back
to when they were young.
Yes, that is where the issues are.
Okay.
That is why today we're saying that even in the process of correction, let the child know. So the parents that your dad will come.
You shouldn't do that.
It's not the best.
So you do it and tell them you allow.
Ask them when
that thing happen.
So that the child can connect to the behavior and the punishment.
Okay. So it wouldn't leave a harm, or it wouldn't leave the child in emotional torture where he
Asking-
or she will grow
and asking questions.
okay.
Why is daddy beating me? Because I haven't done anything. Probably mom has reported something that happened yesterday
okay.
in the morning,
Okay.
and dad is reacting
Okay.
without explaining to the
Okay.
child.
For NTO, it is important. We are bringing it to a level. We just want to understand because these things happens at home. It happens at home. It happens everywhere because we have been beaten and we've seen marks in. You see marks and stuff like that. But we thought at that time it is correctional. But
Yes.
now if I wouldn't do that to my child because Charlie, if I look at it the way I was, I wouldn't do that for my child. But we are learning. So now emotional it's not beating. It's not a physical affliction, but
Yes. It can be as a result of the physical abuse.
That will lead that,
will
okay.
lead to that psychological, emotional.
Okay.
So you see that you are doing one thing that have several implications. That is why you have to consider, you have to weigh. Let's consider farming. It's one common example. How do young people in Ghana see farming? Most of us, because of how farming was treated when we were in school.
That's
when
right.
you misbehave, you are
You're
punished
gonna
by
punish to
weed.
weed,
So
okay.
we saw farming weeding as
Okay,
punishment.
okay.
Now we've grown and you're telling us it's a
Okay,
good thing.
okay,
You see,
okay.
those who did it, they
Yeah, I
didn't
get
have
you.
that intention.
Okay.
And look at what has happened.
okay, all right. It's for the emotional. And what other type?
Then we
again?
have the physical neglect.
The physical neglect.
Yes. So talking about neglect, I'm talking about the care a child must receive is being denied.
Take your time and say about it. The rest you can just. But this neglecting. Let my viewers
Okay.
understand here.
Very common, we find men having 10,000 reasons for not taking care of home, not paying school fees, not providing for their children.
Father's Day.
And this is a neglect. Your mommy said this and that, so I've left home. So no school fees. I don't have a job. It's a neglect that will have psychological implication,
On the child.
physical implication on the child, and a call for child labor and
Yeah,
all sort of stuff.
Okay.
So we have basic or societal responsibility or role parents play in the child's life. So 3 months, 6 months, you see they are looking forward for certain things from caregivers and you deny them 1 year, 2 years. So you ask a 2-year-old alone to go to school. I mean, join your friends. You see, joining their friends is okay. But sometimes the children yearn to work with their parents. Just my parent taking me to school is enough.
Something else, yeah.
When they return from school, what happens?
Yes.
Do they come back home to meet mommy ready to receive them? Or mommy is busy such that they did not even recognize the child is at home? All these things are little things.
Neglect that we don't see,
yes,
but it's abuse.
but it's abuse.
So, is it possible that a father or a mother can live with the children at home, but yet
That is where neglect comes in. We are all at home. You know, children and the way they eat, their timing of eating isn't the same as an adult. So an adult can decide, I don't have money, so I won't take lunch. But not a child. So if you don't have money, you won't take lunch. So a 5-year-old shouldn't take lunch. Meanwhile, the parents are home. Sometimes they could get help from the next door. But these days, we are practicing a cage system. I call it cage system, where every family is caged, every child is caged. Then times, this house will
The
be
compound
open.
can see, everybody
So
can come
your auntie's friend, we are a family. So I can eat from my friend's home. My friend can come and eat. But now, we are not practicing those things. Everybody has become a witch or something. And you see, so when you leave the child can get that support from elsewhere, yet the child doesn't have that right to seek that, but they are living in the same home. Even ironing, washing the child's clothing, you know, at certain age, certain people have to do these things for the child. A 5-year-old washing his or her own uniform. Yes, the child might not react or respond immediately, But the time will come, the child will find the meaning of what was happening that time.
That is what I think we are not getting. Okay.
That is where we are missing.
That's some more neglect. So I want to please let me. You see, so now father is at home, mother is at home, father travels or father is not staying in, and whenever he is coming back, the children are not happy.
Yes. The question is why?
So whatever the father is doing that doesn't allow the children to be happy, probably may be abuse.
It's an abuse of it. That is the emotional side.
That's the emotional side.
So I'm smiling at you, and you will not respond. It has been on and on and on and on. What do you want me to think?
Father don't have time for the children when they return from a long journey or something.
You get it. Ideally, don't bring them when you're not ready. You see, like I was saying, a child at 2 years would want to talk about certain things. For them, whether it's repetition or not, they want to talk. Yes. They want to walk. Are you ready to walk? Daddy, see. Daddy, what is this? You should be ready to respond. They feel comfortable. There's somebody there for them. And it builds that bond and that trust. But you leave the child always with the mom or always with the dad. One party is missing. Others pick their mates with their mothers, with their fathers, and they see. So they ask themselves, where's my mama? Where's my daddy? You know, but they can't come and ask you.
No, it's in
Some
their mind.
at certain age, they will ask without knowing what exactly they are talking about. How do you even respond to them?
Okay. This neglect thing brings a lot of issues because the future is very bleak. All right, and what is what other ones that?
Then we have the physical neglect as well.
So neglect in your sense was physical neglect.
We have physical neglect, emotional, psychological neglect.
So what we discuss is emotional because
the physical is when the father is missing.
The father is not there, cry.
So like
or the mother is not there.
Yes, one party is not there, or both are not there.
And
so,
the children,
like in this house, a child returns from school and no parents, so that child will have to find its way in the house till it goes back to sleep. Mommy and daddy will come anyway, but they don't meet.
So we're not there.
So that interaction is not there.
So that's a physical neglect.
It's one of them.
Okay.
So a party is missing. It could be total missing or partial missing.
Okay.
And all these things lead to the emotional neglect. So this time the child have started thinking there's nobody. I know a family, in fact they have almost everything that you could say a child should want. But the children were yearning for the presence of their parents to the extent that they know everything is money. To their parents, what matters is money. Because they come home and it's an uncle or auntie that takes care. They live the same way. And now they are teens making these complaints. It has affected their behavior.
We didn't look at it when we were younger.
Yes.
Now,
we thought they are young. Once I give them food, their clothing, their footwear, they have a place to sleep, they do whatever they want to do, it's enough. But they need you physical.
How we know that this child is facing abuse? What are the signs and symptoms of a child who is going through that?
Let me finish with the last
abuse. Okay.
That is sexual. Which is also common.
It's very common.
And then, unfortunately, recent times, cousins are abusing, siblings are abusing, fathers are
mothers are also
abusing the same way.
When you say there are more fathers, no more men, but you don't talk about women.
Women are equally abusing, especially the young boys.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Touching where they are not supposed to touch. You know, I had a case where the man is 60 plus and was saying that for him, he grew up knowing that love is all about sex.
Oh, okay.
Because he was abused by a cousin.
Oh.
Which they never reported or talked about it.
Oh, okay.
So we have to be careful.
To leave your children with.
No, so even when you are there, we are all in the house. but certain things must be checked.
Okay.
You see, you shouldn't be getting the money. What are you looking for the money for?
For the children.
You see, so you have a boy, you have a girl. They are in the same room. At certain stage, either you separate them or you explain things to them. Or else they are exposed to the internet and TV. They see things, they will practice. They are siblings. But before you realize, they've abused themselves sexually. Then adults abusing their children as well.
Viewers, if you just joined, we are discussing child abuse, psychological effects of child abuse. And you know, child abuse, or it is something that is common in the society, in our home, wherever we find ourselves. And the discussion has been interesting. We're now going to look at what we can see as a concerned citizen, as a concerned church member, as a concerned teacher, as a concerned cousin, or as a concerned auntie or uncle. If you see these things around a child, then you should know that this child is suffering from an abuse. It can be emotional, sexual, whatever. So what are the signs and symptoms that determine that this particular child is going through an abuse?
So always you need to talk to them. But some of the things that would draw your attention.
That's what I want.
Body language.
Their body language, okay.
Their body language. So are they happy? They are playing, but are they playing their level? What are some of the things they talk about when they are alone? You know, children talk when they are alone. So what do you hear them? You can try and then just hide somewhere. And then see a child alone seated somewhere doing that talking thing.
Yes.
So those things, they sleep talk. When they sleep, they talk. They say some of the things.
It should tell us that the child probably is going through something.
And it's persistence.
Okay. Not once.
But you realize that sometimes they even fight in there. So they're talking like they are fighting in their dreams, and it comes out. So they react on.
Please let us monitor these things you are sharing, because these are the only signs that will let you know that child is going through an abuse. Please let's listen to it very carefully. So when a child sleep talk, and what again?
Things that they say when they talk.
They talk in that
one.
Dream,
it's not necessarily sleeping. Whilst they are playing.
Okay.
What are some of the things they play with? Okay. You know, you will see a child who always want to play with sharp objects and those things. It should be a matter of concern. Their physical health. So either they grow leaner than they are, or they become
obese or something,
or obesity set in, or they don't eat appropriately, or they eat too much.
Too much, okay.
And then again, their age-related development. If they are not able to develop by, you see, we have at least a range.
Exactly.
So a child between 5 and 6 must do certain things. Are they able to do it? Or they are overly doing? All these things are signs. Then anxiety. Children are easily anxious. It has to be a call for concern. Then timidity. When a child is so timid, a child is with a low self-esteem, the child can't come out and play with friends as age mates as it's supposed to be. You should find out why.
But should this one, what you just said, should it be a certain, what of a child that is his or her upbringing is that person who is always quiet indoor? How do you determine?
So quiet indoors, they love something. In there, there's something they love doing. Are they doing it? Have they stopped? That is the withdrawal. Have they stopped doing those things? It should be a cause for concern.
And with the one you said about the child who sleep talking, what if the child doesn't talk, but then he or she is not having a beautiful...
So children cannot sleep, so they will be rolling on the bed till daybreak. You know, some people roll a lot, but at least it should be normal, within normal. You see, we have the ranges. But this one, the moment you leave the child, it will be rolling so you realize that even the sleep isn't stable. It should be a cause for concern. And then depression can also set in.
Exactly, depression. People think children don't engage, get into depression.
They easily get, and they cry a lot.
They cry a lot.
The least thing.
Hey. So we shouldn't just call them names. We should find out what is it. No, we should find out. Okay. Okay. Is there any signs you want to add?
Yes. What is it that children play with? What objects? What kind of games they would want to play with? When they react to certain people certain way. So a family friend comes in and suddenly the child wants
mood changes.
The child wants to vanish. Others too, they come in and the child is extremely happy, or all these things are signs that we have to. It could also be the parents themselves.
Exactly.
When mommy is around, how do they behave? When daddy is, and when, so you have to find out some of these things from caregivers. So at school, how do they behave? When you are not at home, those you leave them with, how do they behave? So you see, parenting is not mother-father business.
No.
It's a societal business.
Exactly.
Everybody has a role to play, especially if you're a Christian.
Exactly. Especially if you're a Christian. And there are more signs that you hardly see them, like someone trying to commit suicide or something. It's hardly you see those things. It's hardly
my children, that's what I'm saying. Those children, some of them play with certain objects.
Sharp objects or objects that are harmful.
And then they engage in risky kind of play.
So when we see that,
whenever this child every time will climb something that the child, and you know when that child falls, it's a disaster. You should caution or get the child closer. Find out, why do you like climbing these things? How do you feel when you climb? Then it's a conversation like you are playing with the child. All
right, so I want to go for this quick break. When I return, abuse is not, we are not done yet, because we need to know. She has told us the general signs. What if the person was sexually assaulted? What if the person was physically abused? What if it is emotional? What are the signs, some of the signs that we need to, at least she will tell us one or two out of these three, then we'll move on. Please, in case you just joined, we are discussing psychological effect of child abuse. Don't go anywhere, and I'll be right back.
Nia onyankopon hwehwa ne se onipa bia bedi yie e wasase so. Eno ti adwuma bia wo ye no, wo hia ho nimdie ene nkyerɛkyerɛ papa. Mpanifo se sanwa beba kontomre enkwan ani a na eginemu nam so. Eno nti na Hope Channel edi dwumadi a ye friend se Business Forum abrewo. Yawada nwumre no nwotwe bia me kyerɛ 8 p.m. Shia me na nakwa mesika. Menim panimfo a wa ben no wadɔ sukɔ e wo sikasɛm adwadie mu ene enwuma mu besi nkonwa ne amaw nkyerɛkyerɛ papa a ɛbɛboa na nso watimi atumpɔn piao.
My understanding about laws is that they are rules and regulations governing our society, yes, or our community.
They are like rules. They are made to regulate human behavior.
Right to freedom, right to life, right to own property. Yeah, that's what I know.
Yes. The Supreme Court. Okay, so Shraj, don't see what you. Yes, my right has been violated. In school, I heard that corporal punishment is now abolished, but my teacher still used to cane us. The highest law in Ghana is the Constitution.
This is difficult. The law on life. I think the law on life.
So which is which? The Constitution or the right to life? Why don't you join me, Anita Delight Dankwa, every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. as we discuss all legal issues from a Christian perspective on Hope Channel, your preferred Christian channel.
All right, welcome back from the break. Thank you so much for staying and Thank you for sharing the link to people, your WhatsApp pages and WhatsApp, because we are discussing what the psychological effect of child abuse. You may be a Sunday school teacher, you may be a Sabbath school children teacher, you may be a youth teacher, pathfinder, whatever teacher you are. Please, these are the things that when we see with our children who come to us, we may let them understand or tell them or ask them questions. So if we should ignore these signs that they possess, it will be very difficult for us to know the child that come to sit under our feet for us to teach them. Earlier on I said that we have discussed the general symptoms and signs but I want us to break it into the stages. You see the types, she gave us the types, whatever. But how would we know, Tina, how would we know if the child is physically abused? What are the signs that will let me as a supervisor or whatever know?
So I'll mix everything.
No problem.
And they will
then,
link to each other.
Then you when you link there, you let us know.
So something like sexual abuse.
Sexual abuse, yeah.
Sexual abuse has its physical effect, has the emotional bit. So you will notice that the way the girls, the way they walk has changed. And they're always trying to hide that part of their body. So if the child is about 5-6 years where somebody will have to bath, then you see that when you are trying to watch that they try to pull back or scream or react awkwardly, it should let you find out more. And then the same sexual abuse. You see that when certain people are around the child, she's not comfortable. And she shows, the child that can't be herself or doesn't want to look at the person or trying to hide. Children react immediately. So you're walking with your daughter, you see a particular person, quickly she tries to hide behind you. It should be a concern to you. Then the physical abuse itself, you will see bruises, swelling, sudden sores at certain places that are awkward. For instance, sores at the faces, under the jaw, under certain parts of the body. The part of the body that the injury is must call for.
But with a sexual, before you go, with a sexual symptoms, can it be so that the child may also want to inflict or to act on another child if the child is a boy?
Yes, not only boys.
Like the opposite or even same sex or whatever.
Just that in the abuse, girls and boys react differently.
Okay.
So some develop anger, and out of the anger, they pour it on those they can.
They can, okay.
So you see that a child plays with their age mate, and always that child is beating or causing pain to others.
Okay.
And then certain children would want to be with a particular person. Those who have adjusted to the abuse, especially the sexual one, because of probably some of the things they get from that, would always want to be with that abuser, apart from the withdrawal. Then with the emotional, usually children become angry. It's in them. So you are playing with the child and the child is angry. So there's an advert on TV where the child returns from school with that anger mood. The mother talks and the mother thinks you are just coming from what could be the issue. But the issue is at home. It has been there before she left.
She left to school. Okay.
So all these things. You see, we have normal ranges of behavior. When it's becoming extreme, you have to question.
Okay. Okay.
The physical, I always say it's easy to see, but what did you do about it?
What did you do
when
about
you
it?
saw that child having that awkward sore under the armpit, what did you do? It could even be, children, they themselves abuse themselves as well.
Exactly.
So you are hurt and you are hiding it, and it's growing bigger and more painful. That is a kind of an abuse. So whoever have been able to discover must help this child. And again, unnecessary screaming at children. And certain things that parents do at home. You see, we have the emphasis on the psychological or emotional, because whatever happens ends there.
Whether physical, you still
Whether
lose the
physical
emotion.
or it ends up in there. So here may be the case, you are not abusing the child physically, but you are abusing the mother, you are abusing the father, you are abusing someone in the house, and this child is interpreting. So you end up emotionally or psychologically abusing that child. You see that it didn't start with that child. So you have to question, when a child scream or cry at certain times in the day, neighbors should be concerned.
Neighbors should be concerned because you might not know what is wrong with the child.
And then every time.
Every time. So if it is once be there, it is okay.
Even that you can probe, but that one, you see,
It just happened, like, you know, it's a Yanka's accident.
Yes.
Okay, but when it's continuous, when it's
And
consistent,
consistent,
okay, okay.
How children
Okay.
dress, what they are wearing, should let you know that something is happening.
Wait, with that, I always have a question when it comes to that. How they dress? Is it a change of the way they used to dress? Or probably there's a family beer, they don't have a woman nibio.
So that is how they used to.
Uh-huh.
Then it's getting worse.
So
So must it get worse?
and that is all they have. Unless it be the person, unless it be the child's
Then
dress.
neglect.
Fine. So no one is supervising the child's beautiful.
No one is caring, giving
for,
the
okay.
care, because
okay.
the child isn't responsible for the upkeep.
Okay.
So somebody must go and work and buy clothes for that
okay,
child.
okay, it's true. Okay. Then,
And then in a family, you see that a particular child or dresses in a always having oversized clothing or not having it at all. So always you see this child in a panty, walking around no dress, and that has been the norm. Is that the way? And that is a rainy season. You go to some homes and just a pant, and the child it should call for concern. So if the parents are not aware, somebody must help them to know. All these things are signs of kind of abuse going on where those children are.
so with the neglect, let us emphasize a bit on the neglect, because this what I said has raised. So when you spoke about the stages in life where at every stage a child should, and if the child is not growing well, can it be a sign?
It could be a sign. That's why I always say that you should probe. You should look into. Even at the hospital where they go for weighing and all those things. So your child every day is underweight. Your child every day is underweight. Is it that you are not feeding the child well?
Is it because he is not getting something to eat well to feed the child?
So
There's
then
abuse somewhere.
you need help. So you shouldn't use your challenge to abuse the child, because that child can't work for.
For what the exactly one small self and brass as a soul.
Even if not one small poor, the child doesn't have that strength to work. So somebody, and they start with you, that body who called for. So if you can't, for the sake of the child, do something. Some even some women today, I want to keep my figure, so they won't eat the proper food they have to eat to be able to breastfeed well. So you want to keep your you see, once it has effect on the child,
you're abusing
the child. We don't care about what you want, but we care about what let the child grow to that stage and keep your figure.
So I told you, if a child abuse thing, this thing we are talking about with the neglect aspect. So the child gets sick.
And nobody to provide the necessary medications, nobody taking the child to seek the health care, nobody is doing so. We just prepare something at home and give it, you'll be fine. Some are insulted. You get up, your friends are playing, and you are here claiming you are sick. So the child is forced to join the friends. Yet the sickness.
But in Ghana, every Obatembia is a health practitioner, is a doctor.
That is first aid.
Every Obata, I don't know how do they.
You see, it's something that is part of our socialization. Most of the things that our parents do, they saw their parents and neighbors do, and they join in. So let me also give it a try. But after 24 hours, first aid ends. Seek professional help. So you can get a professional help and add whatever. But my issue is get to know what is at stake. So if your child hasn't been eating well, running and all those things, you've given first aid, it hasn't stopped. Go to the hospital, let them tell you what is the issue. After that, if you don't want to keep the child at the hospital, at least you know what is wrong with the child.
Exactly. A child failing to sit at classroom, failing to sit in school.
Even sleeping. The child always sleeping in class.
And the teachers think that, or lazy, or
yes, that is the fair. Even parents think you are lazy. You are lazy. Your friend, something is going on, especially the psychological bit. Where parents are always fighting, where there's no enough food, where they eat check, Indomie. You know, I'm maybe someone's product. However, what is the health properties in that food? So it has become always, and children buying food from the roadside.
No, wait. At least it's a disclaimer though. But at least if even the child will eat Indomie, should it be every day? There should be a balance there. Yeah.
So once a while, and then even is it prepared at home or by the street? You see, Kwanche Duane has its own issues. So if that is what the child will eat throughout, then health-wise, you are not helping.
So neglect comes in.
Neglect comes in. So malnutrition and all those things. Once a while, your child can buy food from the roadside, but where it's become norm. In some homes, I know they will give them an apasika, a wiasika, and imresika. So what?
So who is the chef at home? What is
nobody is willing to cook.
Neglect party. We think it is
all about beating and no.
I don't know. You may have questions and concerns and probably comment on what we are discussing. And our WhatsApp line is 0559 680066 0559 680066, and on Facebook, Hope TVGH, you can drop your comment and your question so that we'll have time to read and answer that question for you. And as I said, it is beautiful. It is beautiful that we need to think about how best all these things can be done. So if you are a teacher, a children's school teacher, and you see all these signs in a child, then it should tell you and I that there's something wrong with your child, especially with the neglect thing we are saying. The child goes to school, come back home, and he or she doesn't want to go to school again. How do we parent? How do we talk to the child? Do we, as the normal thing, we lazy, we are quite no person go school near there, school near there. Should it be so? But who is its business to make sure that this child goes through these things successfully? If you have any question or concern, you can drop it, and we'll have time to discuss. Anything to add, then I'll move on to my next question, sister.
So another common thing is that some children always cry when they are going to school.
Yes,
the moment school or a particular place is mentioned, they will start crying. You should find out why. It's not just that they don't want to go, or some children become so clingy to their parents, they don't want to go to any other person. A trust has been broken somewhere, so you have to fish out.
A trust has been broken somewhere, and the same child refusing to go to that special uncle or the auntie. We shouldn't say then today we're going to visit grandma. We're going to visit,
and the child starts behaving
then we think the child doesn't like the.
Okay, the child doesn't like the person. Why?
So, parents, you see, these are common things that we see our children do, but we think, or our friend trend one, so it is something that we need to probe. Why is the child not having the interest to go visit granny or grandpa? Why is it that he doesn't want to go to that Uncle Kojo or Uncle Kosi or Auntie Ama or Auntie Ekia? Why is the child failing to do that? There's something that we need to know. There's something the child probably may be hiding. And as a parent, when we take our time to see these signs as elderly brothers or elderly siblings or teachers, when we take our time to look, we would see there are certain things. You see that it is our time is, I don't know, our time is up.
Okay.
And I think we need to continue because we need to talk more about this child abuse thing, because mind you me, it is something that 1 out of 7 children has been abused or maltreated before. 1 out. And if you want to see the effect of what we are saying, if you're a school teacher, if you're a Sabbath school teacher, a children's Sabbath school teacher, or Sunday Bible school teacher, children's teacher, do a paper. Don't let them write their names, and ask questions about, have you been before? Just write yes. And you see the number of people in your class that has been abused before, or that are still being abused. Sister Gina, we need to come back again for a second part 2 of child abuse, because I don't know, our children needs to be helped. They needs to be heard, because there are a lot of things they are going through that we parents we have ignored and neglected. What will be your last words? Then we can bring this kid in now.
Okay, I hope we'll have the time to talk about the effect.
Exactly.
But these are things we are living with them. It's an everyday practice. Let's not normalize them. Let's not shout on children, brush their issues under the carpet, but we should rather go closer, be friends to them, and find. You don't ask them what is it when they are crying. They won't tell you. And when they are happily playing, get involved. Why did you cry when Uncle Osimisi was here the other time? That is when they are going to open up. And then before that, show them love and care. Every child needs it. No children are our property.
Exactly.
And a gift, the most beautiful gift on earth.
Exactly.
So don't go in for a child when you are not ready. If you think it has happened and you are not ready, there are help. Seek help. Get help to be able to protect and take care of a child. Taking care of a child is not just paying school fees and buying clothing. You have to ensure none of these abuse we're talking about a child is going through.
All right, we need to ensure that none of this abuse that we have started talking about, especially with the science that you are learning, shouldn't happen to any child that is under your care or your supervision. Please, we need these children. They are the future. And if we are going to let them go through this, how would our future be? That's the question we need to ask yourself. I want to take this opportunity to appreciate Sleek Afrique for the fabric. Sleek Afrique, Instagram, Sleek Afrique, Facebook, Sleek Afrique. And they have something casual by Sleek Afrique, where our ladies don't need to go through the hassle, casual wears for office for anything. Please just go Instagram, casual by Sleek Afrique, casual by Sleek Afrique, and you can select the style you want. Just talk to them, and your size will be asked, and delivery guy will bring it to you at your doorstep. Please, if you want to also to talk to them, it's 0557 355 852. 0557 355 852. And I thank Alpha Art for all the time design this flower for the program. I told you, anything graphics, Alpha Art. Please, anything graphics, Alpha Art. You can contact Alpha Art on 0551 404 387. 0551 404 387. And as I said, Justina, God bless you for your time. And I know we need to do part 2 of this child abuse, because I think there are a lot of questions that people need to get answers to, and there are comments and contributions that people probably will come in. So they are waiting for the part 2 of this wonderful program. And you, the viewer, thank you so much for watching, and please share. If you want to help this program, if you want to invite Wounds of the Heart for any organization, for your institutions, school, wherever, church, anywhere that you think we need people, our voice should be heard, the number is 0559 535554. 0559 535554. Please call us, and we will have a chat with you. Until then, I have been your regular host, and the name is Pastor Dana Bedubidiaba. I'm out.
Have you heard the exciting news? United in Praise presents Pella Fest, the a cappella festival happening live at the National Theatre 31st December 2022. The gate opens at 5 p.m. It's going to be a night to remember, a night of prayer and praise. Hope Channel is giving an opportunity to 2 young a cappella groups to rub shoulders on the big stage. If you believe you deserve to be on the stage, record your a cappella group in performance and send it to hopetvghana@gmail.com. Together with our viewers, we will select 2 groups to perform with the Manifest, Soul Street, Vocal Part, K3M, Black Capella, No 6, New Era, and many more. The A Cappella Festival, live at the National Theatre 31st December 2022. Dial star 929 star 529 # now to grab your ticket. For 70 Ghana cedis single, 150 Ghana for VIP, 300 Ghana cedis for a family of 5. A Cappella Festival, a night to remember.
For one night only, the city will converge at the National Theatre as United in Praise presents the A Cappella Festival. Yes! Brace for a divine musical experience on Saturday, December 31, as Ghana's hottest a cappella groups usher us into 2023 in a grand style. On stage performing Black Capella, The Manifest, Vocal Path, Note 6, K3M, New Era, Soul Street, and many more. Special appearances by Pesdak Praise Choir, Gifted Dear, Mark Enimirenchi, and Perez Music. Get an early bird ticket now at a cool 70 Ghana cedis standard for single, 150 Ghana cedis VIP, and 300 Ghana cedis for a family of 5. Simply dial star 928 star 529 # to get your tickets now. The A Cappella Festival is proudly endorsed by Beyond the Return and supported by Charterhouse, Events Dome, Midima Foheba Clinic, Meridian Ghana Conference, and powered by United in Praise. Pella Fest, a Hope Channel Ghana production.